IVM.
Twilight, Vampire Diaries. How many fans are also fans of my show? Personally, I'm not a fan of either. However, I do know a lot of people who can be like vampires, or then sometimes I call them leeches when it comes to draining your energy. Hi, I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach, and this is Say No to Drama. Today I'm talking about energy suckers, and I'll try and give you two options or two tools that can help you safeguard yourself from them. Usually people who are constantly painting themselves to be victims are energy suckers. Then people who are very egoistic and always trying to prove a point are energy suckers. People who want to be the center of attention by hook or by crook can often also be energy suckers. And then those people for whom you are just a shoulder to cry on or their favorite agony aunt, those people are energy suckers. Know anybody who fits the bill? A lot of you know a lot of people like this. Many of you might realize that a parent of yours is an energy sucker. A sibling is one. Your best friend might be one. Energy suckers are not bad people. And yes, I did refer to them as vampires or leeches just a moment ago. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but rather in a descriptive way. People who are only always taking from you, only always coming to you with their problems, only always asking for help. And even when nothing is wrong in their life, they are only talking about the past and how they've had such a difficult journey. Well, those are people that I describe as leeches. And you seem to be their favorite skin. They've latched on to you. And every time that they are in your presence, they are drawing from you. They are refilling themselves by using your energy. Now, here's the thing. When you are genuinely helping somebody, a lot of times when you give energy, your energy will multiply, right? It happens. However, when it's a bad habit like this, you giving somebody like this energy might only make you feel drained, which is why when they leave or you leave their presence, you feel like going and taking a nap, you feel depressed, you feel down and out, you feel exhausted, you feel like, why is life so difficult? Like I said, a bunch of us might realize that we have a parent who is like this. A parent who is always worrying. And I mean, worrying for a parent is normal, but a parent who is so pessimistic and so negative because of whatever it is that they have gone through in their life, that all they do all day is spew warnings. If you do this, that will happen. Oh my God, look what has happened. Oh, now what are we going to do? If these are the words you're listening to constantly, then know that this parent is stuck in a victim zone and is draining you of their energy. If they're constantly talking about how bad their marriage has been or how bad their life has been, and yes, a lot of us listen to stories of our parents and their bad marriages every day, okay? A lot of us are agony aunts or that shoulder to cry on for a parent of ours. It's normal. If you are doing it, it's normal. There's lots of us out there like that. But here's the thing. This parent is also draining you of your energy and making you feel like there's nothing good in life. Like nothing can make you happy. Nothing can make them happy. Nothing will ever change in your life. And oh my God, if you get married, you might get stuck in this kind of a dark relationship also. And then how many of you have that egoistic friend who's only always talking about themselves or then always trying to argue because they need to prove a point and they need to have the last laugh? Usually a person who is winning in an argument is draining the person who is losing that argument of all energy. Think about it. Have you ever lost an argument? Has a discussion become so heated that you've just resigned and backed off? And have you felt drained? That's because the person who was winning the argument was drawing from you. These are all human dramas. And these are all ways in which we take energy from each other. Look, even if we are doing it in a good way, even if we are laughing and enjoying ourselves together, we're still exchanging energy. The only thing with laughing and happiness is that it multiplies. The thing with sadness and worry and strife and fighting and victim energy, well, all of these are low vibration energies and low vibration behaviors, and they tend to drain us. So what do? I mean, what's the option? Well, honestly, there are a few things that we all can do to safeguard ourselves. The first one that I'm going to give you is a page out of spirituality. Okay? It might seem weird to you, but logically and scientifically, visualizations work because human beings tend to think of life in stories. So if we can imagine things, the mind responds better to images and it will follow instructions to the cue. Before you enter any room, whether it is for a meeting, whether it is for dinner, whether it's a date, whether it's coffee with friends, whether it's a presentation, anything at all, before you enter any room, close your eyes and place yourself in a purple bubble with the intention that only the energies that you allow will pierce through that bubble. Now, what happens when you do this? You are visually giving yourself a cue to protect your own energy, your own state, which means that somebody else can get angry and irritated and be screaming and shouting or arguing with you. And you might, in that moment, feel a little drained and feel a little shaky, but you will recover a lot faster. Why? Because your mind pulled the shutters down at the right time. The intention that nobody else's mood or energy will affect you will ensure that you bounce back faster if or then that you don't get affected by it at all. So before you enter any room, especially when you know you're going to have a tough conversation or you're meeting somebody that you don't really like or someone that makes you feel uncomfortable, imagine you are sitting in a purple bubble, an impenetrable purple bubble. Talk about playing mind games, right? Another one that I will tell you is to place boundaries. Empathy with boundaries. There is an episode that I have done on empathy and empaths, and you should definitely listen to it because anyone who calls themselves an empath is just someone who does not know how to place boundaries. We are all empathetic human beings. Human beings by nature have empathy within them. But a lot of people have been conditioned to not use this energy. They don't know how to tap into it. They don't know what it feels like. It's like they've never experienced the sensation because that's what they were taught. They were taught to block it out. Then there are some of us who were taught to overuse it and overuse it so that you will be accepted, you will be relied on, you will be considered as a good person, you will be loved, all kinds of false notions. Empathy, healthy empathy, must come with boundaries. I can understand what you are going through by placing myself in your shoes. I can even feel bad for you. And I can even do what I need to help you. However, what you are going through does not define or describe my life. My experiences are mine, yours are yours. There's a line, clear line between that. You need to know that line and not cross it and not allow the other person to cross it either. Somebody else has lost their job. I can feel bad for them and I can help them find another job, including writing out their CV if that's what's needed. However, just because they've lost their job and I'm helping them does not mean that the world is bad, does not mean my boss is bad, does not mean my job is bad, does not mean that I'm unhappy and I need to quit too. Somebody is getting divorced. I can feel bad, I can be there for them. I may also be going through a tough time in my marriage. However, there's a difference between that person's relationship and my relationship. If you don't understand this difference, then you are the one who needs to learn how to set boundaries. The other person's not being a vampire or a leech in terms of energy. You are giving them that space and you are allowing it. And the third option is an option that most of you would cringe about. A lot of you will just shake your head and say, damn, that's too hard or that's impossible. But it is actually a very, very simple solution. It's called saying no. You need to learn to say no to some people when they have crossed the lines or taken advantage of you. If you feel drained around some people, then you need to learn to stay away for longer periods, and you need to meet them in shorter doses. Also, if you can identify what they are doing to drain you of your energy, you need to tell them to stop doing it and that you are not going to entertain that behavior anymore. Learn to say no. And if you don't know how to, there's an episode on this podcast on how to say no. Just scroll down on the Say No to Drama list and run through even the episodes that were once called Positively Unlimited. All these episodes are available on the IVM Podcast app and website. And if you would like to connect with me to help learn how to draw boundaries, how to not have your energy drained from you, how to bring your relationships into balance, then DM me on Instagram to book a session. My handle is Positivity Angel.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey. Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says His Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Naveen, Vagda and Antariksh talk about the American mother who was arrested because her kid took marijuana-laced gummies to school. Vagda is a co-host for our show Press Decode, so if you haven't been checking that out, check her out on that show as well as this one. The Simplified Gang explore Mumbai through Naren's stories and observations. On All Things Policies, the Takshashila folk discuss the U.S. Supreme Court's potential decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. On the Life Manifesto, Zarina introduces us to Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 Agreements of Life. And on Hansivani, hear the store Nai Idgah. It explores the role of media amidst a state of religious animosity in our country. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we've been doing a series of profiles of people within the office, so do check that out for sure. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. We have a page on our website, ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, with a list of all our channels. We're also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you, the listener, responds to the advertising on our network. And also, we just want to know a little bit more about you. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it out. It will really help us build some better shows for you. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, SBI Life Insurance and Jupiter, a digital banking app.